Glad you're with us from Cleveland, Ohio. Unseasonably warm. Temperatures much higher than normal. We'll get into the mid to high 70s. It's sunny with just a slight breeze from the west. And an unusual clash from the NFC South and the AFC North. The Falcons overall 6 of their last 7. The Browns have been very good at home, Charles. So something's got to give here as Mike Smith talked to his team about securing the football and then going after it. They have 10 takeaways on the Atlanta defense, and for Eric Mangini hoping to build on that victory with Seneca Wallace again starting at quarterback.
They finished the season last year in such fine form. Talking about the Cleveland Browns, a little bit of a disappointment how they started this year, but Eric Mangini did a great job of showing composure and staying the course, and it paid off last week the way they closed out their victory against Cincinnati.
We mentioned Josh Cribbs, who is not only an electrifying returner, who's becoming more and more of a receiver for this Cleveland offense. And Seneca Wallace, coaching staff saying, yeah, he's mobile, but we're impressed with his accuracy.
They love his accuracy, and they love the fact that he uses his mobility to continue to look downfield and deliver passes. What's going to interest me with this opening kickoff, Chris, how will Atlanta kick the ball to Josh Cribbs? Will they? Will they try and sky kick it? Will they try and keep it away from him? It's going to be a cat and mouse strategy between the special teams coaches today.
10 touchdowns in his career by punt, by kickoff. But when the ball is in his hands, exciting things happen, and the Falcons say they have a strategy for Josh Cribbs. Let's see how they play it as Michael Payton. Game 5 for these two teams is underway. And it's up in the air, and Cribbs has it. And the Falcons do a nice job keeping him at the 25-yard line as Christopher Owens makes the stop. And as we look at the Cleveland offense, we talked about Seneca Wallace as Jake Delhomme getting better. He is your backup. Ben Watson, the tight end, leading the team in catches with 18. They want to get the ball to their receivers more. And Joe Thomas, 3 straight Pro Bowls at that left tackle start to start his pro career. Tony Pashos at right tackle for the injured John St. Clair.
And Atlanta decides to open in a nickel set on defense on first down, which is a little unusual considering how much Cleveland wants to run the football.
Seneca Wallace more successful throwing on the early downs than on third down. Quick pass to Peyton Hillis, and they work them right back. Has a Cleveland first down. The leading rusher, the second leading receiver on this team.
And where people get fooled is they look at the physique of Peyton Hillis and they see fullback steamroller. They forget this is a very agile football player. A terrific baseball player in high school. Got a lot of attention from the major league scouts. Decided to go to Arkansas and play football. And boy, he's a terrific athlete.
15-yard pickup. Cribbs on the left side, top of your screen on first down. Hillis carries and powers forward. Charles, you talked about the Atlanta defense up front. John Abraham, 10.5 sacks in his last 9 games when he's gone against AFC teams. They will watch where he is. He'll match up against Joe Thomas quite a bit. Rookie linebacker Sean Witherspoon back in the lineup after that injured ankle. He practiced well this week. Safety William Moore in a secondary, and the Atlanta leads with 8 interceptions, best in the NFL. Second down, it's Hillis again, picking up a couple of yards. The ball looked like it came out, and the official says Falcons recover. The sure-handed Peyton Hillis loses it, and recovering for Atlanta is William Moore from that safety spot.
And when you're going against a bruiser like Peyton Hillis, you have to make sure you have plenty of hats to the football. Look at the number of Falcons in the hole. And a good job there. It looked like Jonathan Babineau, number 95, was the guy who knocked it free initially. Held his ground at the point of attack, put his hands on the football, and wrenched it free before it was recovered by William Moore. The fast attacking Atlanta defense causes the first turnover of the game.
Heartbreak turnover, Cleveland. What did Mike Smith say? We want to grab those takeaways when we can as Michael Turner carries on first down for Atlanta, closer to the Cleveland 40. 4 straight games for Eric Coleman, who is healthy. On second down, Michael Turner remains the back. Ryan fakes to him. Matt throws off the hands and incomplete. Intended for Tony Gonzalez. 3rd and 4, an early scoring opportunity, or at least an opportunity that Matt Ryan and the Falcons want to take advantage of.
We saw the mobility of Matt Ryan, and he's able to utilize that because of the threat of the run game with Michael Turner. This is a true passing down now, and what they've liked so far this year for Atlanta, they've been in what they call 3rd and manageable. That's exactly what 3rd and 4 is. Let's see if Rob Ryan decides to come after him with a little pressure.
Finneran on the right side, 2 receivers, Douglas and Roddy White on the left, and that's Gonzalez in motion. Matt Ryan goes down. 9th sack of the year, and that's Marcus Bernard for this Cleveland defense. And Rob Ryan said that's the kind of pressure we want on that Matty Ice guy.
And the pressure they got, Chris, was from a 3-man front, a 3-man rush, really, because watch it. You got 3 coming. Scott Fujita's essentially spying Jason Snelling, and Robert Smith from the backside beats the pass protection and puts Matt Ryan down. Well done by the Cleveland Browns.
And the coverage in the secondary was excellent, a secondary that has been picked on. So 4th down, a missed opportunity after the fumble recovery, and a penalty before Michael Kanan got the punt officially off.
False start. Number 56. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Call is on Sean Weatherspoon. It backs him up 5 yards. Marcus Bernard delivering the sack. Our referee today is John Perry. And Rob Ryan.
Yeah, very happy by what he's seeing, because I said it was Robert Smith, it was Marcus Bernard, and that is his specialty, coming off the edge and getting to the quarterback. He's missed a little time with injury, but when he's on the field, you'd better block him.
And back for Cleveland is Josh Cribbs. He received the opening kickoff. Low snap. Kanan does just get rid of it. It's a high kick inside the 10. Fair catch by Cribbs, where the Cleveland offense will take over. But the Cleveland defense attacking Matt Ryan to keep things scoreless here in Cleveland.
Last week, the Atlanta Falcons had a punt blocked early against San Francisco. Michael Kanan, the punter, well aware of that. Nice athletic play, picking up the low snap and getting that one off.
Peyton Hillis, only his 2nd lost fumble this season, 3rd in his career. But the Browns defense digs him out of the hole. The offense from their own 9. Time for Wallace, who completes the Massaquoi. Mohamed Massaquoi, only his 5th catch of the year. The 2nd-year player from Georgia, and they'd like to get him more involved in the offense.
And twofold, Chris, early in the ball game. Back-to-back series now, we've seen the Browns throw the ball on 1st down. Known as a running team, they're going to call the game a little bit in reverse to try and loosen things up for Peyton Hillis' running. And second, as you pointed out, getting the ball to a wide receiver. They haven't caught very many passes early in this season.
1st down pickup. Seneca Wallace looking one way, throws, just gets rid of it. Let's get a game break, and Kurt Menafield keep us updated on all the highlights throughout the afternoon. Kurt?
Well, Jay Cutler out with an injury, Todd Collins starting, so the Bears get back to the run game. Opening series, Matt Forte takes it 18 yards for the score. Bears lead at 7-0 behind their first rushing touchdown since week 13 of last season. Chris and Charles.
Thanks, Kurt. Jay Cutler did practice some on Friday. They hope, with doctor's clearance, that he'll return next Sunday when the Bears are home against Seattle in a game you'll see on Fox. 2nd down, 10. The pitch to Hillis. He picks up a couple. It'll bring up 3rd down.
The hard thing to do against the Atlanta defense is to run laterally, to try and get outside to the edges. This is a team built for speed. Mike Smith said in the offseason they added a sense of urgency to what they're trying to do. And Corey Peters, number 91, a guy that they just brought in this year, done a nice job working inside, works laterally down the line of scrimmage to help stop that play.
300-pounder, maybe to help clog up the run. They're light up front.
But they play the run awfully well for a team that everyone thinks is so light. They stack it up really well.
From the shotgun on 3rd down, they need to get up near the 31-yard line. Wallace, pass, complete, but short. Looked like it was right at the 30. Robert Royal, the blocking tight end, normally made the catch. We'll check the spot. And Cleveland already realizes they're going to be just a little bit short.
And sometimes there's a reason why you're the blocking tight end. Know where the sticks are, know where the first down yardage is, get there and establish and stay. He got right about the first down line and then kind of shuffled his feet moving for the pass and ended up shy of the first down.
So a punting situation for Reggie Hodges. Eric Weems, who can fly, is back for Atlanta. And a kick that will drop and go inside the 30-yard line where it bounces out of bounds. So a couple of possession-minded offense, and so far defense winning here in Cleveland, scoreless in the opening quarter. Saturday, after a memorable first-round matchup, the National League's two best teams will hit the field and go head-to-head in Game 1 of the NLCS. And they look to move a little bit closer towards the World Series. You'll see it on Fox. First down run, Michael Turner. Looks like a shoe came off at the 30-yard line. Matt Ryan making his first start in Cleveland as an NFL quarterback. Saw him after pregame warm-ups, Charles. He said, I don't even remember if I ever played football at Ohio. I remember it being near Central Michigan once.
Now, he is a Pennsylvania native, Matt Ryan. So you wonder if the Big 33, the great high school all-star game between Pennsylvania and Ohio, but he wouldn't have played in Ohio because they play that in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's where that game is situated each and every year. So this could be his first run in the great state.
On second down and 6, speaking of run, that's Michael Turner. Came in averaging 3.8 a carry, and they wanted that average up a little bit. They're a run-first team.
Definitely a run-first team. And you always hear about the right side of the line, but look at the left side. Watch what these guys are doing. They're known as technicians. Talking about 63 Blaylock and 72 Sam Baker, but they didn't look like technicians on that play. They looked like down in the dirt, grinding offensive linemen, setting up a nice first down run.
Back-to-back runs get that first down. Two tight ends are in just short of the Atlanta 40. That's Peel, Justin Peel moving over so that Matt Ryan sets up the throw. And got pressured, incomplete, is looking for Turner. Eric Wright came from the corner spot.
Chris, I'm not sure how much he was looking for Turner as much as he was glad that Turner was in the vicinity for him to dump it legally. Eric Turner coming off of the corner. Matt Ryan felt the pressure, knew the time clock was up, get rid of the football, and he got rid of it in a place where there'd be no problem in terms of getting the ball tipped. An interception, just grounded it, 2nd and 10. A lot better than turning the ball over.
We saw a lot of that last week against Cincinnati. Tony Gonzalez splits out way on the right, Turner on the left. Ryan, quick drop, quick throw, incomplete. Intended for Gonzalez. It'll be 3rd down. Now, Matt Ryan told us that you really separate yourself as a quarterback in the NFL by big plays on 3rd down.
And then he's got one coming up, and this is how Atlanta loves to use Tony Gonzalez as an extra receiver, not just a tight end. He was split all the way wide, but the coverage by Eric Wright, excellent on the big tight end.
Crowd picking up here in Cleveland. On 3rd and 10. Pass is almost intercepted. Again, Ryan going for Gonzalez, and Sheldon Brown, the ex-Eagle from his corner spot, breaking it up.
Sheldon Brown, who came over after 8 years with the Philadelphia Eagles. Watch how physical he is with Brian Finneran in this route. Chucks him at the line in the legal 5-yard zone and then runs underneath the route at the hip of Brian Finneran. Sees when the ball is going to be thrown by Brian Finneran's actions. Doesn't see the ball, sees the hands and the head, and then turns and knocks the ball away. Terrific coverage.
Kanan, a clean snap and get away on the boot. Cribbs will have a chance from his 15. He dropped the football. He picked it up, and right there were the Falcons to smother him. Brown's already turning it over once in this opening quarter, but the Cleveland defense keeping things 0-0 on the scoreboard.
When you have so many kick returns or touchdowns in your career, 2 punt returns in particular, people start kicking away from you. So with your Joshua Cribbs, you're thinking to yourself, I don't get as many opportunities. Sometimes you get a little over anxious. You take your eye off the ball and try and run before you secure it because not many people are giving you a shot anymore.
Peyton Hillis sits out as Jerome Harrison is in to start this series, and he gets the football. and maybe just a yard or two. Now, Hillis did not practice on Friday because of a hip injury, but he's coming off back-to-back 100-yard games. Jerome Harrison was the guy when the season started, and toward the end of last year, he led the NFL in rushing when Cleveland went on a successful run in the last 3-4 games of the season.
And the challenge for Brian Daboll today, the offensive coordinator for the Browns, is to make sure he does not abandon the run game early because they might only be getting a couple yards of crack. This is a run game built on attrition and wearing people down.
And it is Harrison again. He had a thigh injury earlier in the year, but has been healthy enough to back up Peyton Hillis, who why wouldn't you leave him in the lineup with back-to-back 100-yard games and 4 straight games with a touchdown. But now the run went nowhere, so Seneca Wallace faced with a 3rd and long.
Now it's 3rd and long, but again, for Brian Daboll, looking at this, and this is the tough part for them, only 37% on 3rd downs, and they're not getting much production from the wide receivers. So where does the ball naturally go? They try and find their tight end, or you try and find Josh Cribbs right here in the slot.
And Evan Moore is in the game, a down-the-field tight end who has receiver speed. Wallace completes to Cribbs, but it looks like he's short of the marker. That was like a flashback to the same pass completion the last time, and Weatherspoon really did deliver a hit. It was good enough for a 1st down, so Cribbs knew where the marker was. And that is a big 3rd down to keep the ball moving upfield for Cleveland.
And part of the reason that he gets the 1st down, Sean Weatherspoon trying to strip the ball out of his hands, unable to secure the complete tackle, and Cribbs is able to slither through to get just enough yardage for the 1st down.
We'll call it the 28-yard line. Harrison in the backfield, but now he splits out as a wide receiver on 1st and 10. Seneca Wallace is in trouble and goes down. John Abraham chalk up another sack for number 55, who socked the quarterback.
16.5 sacks in 2008, dropped to 5.5 last year. You want to give John Abraham a little bit of help, and to give him help is to make sure that the inside push is good, and that's exactly what they got from number 99 Vance Walker. That allowed John Abraham to continue to work and work against the All-Pro Joe Thomas, and allowed him to get there and get to the quarterback with help from the secondary and coverage.
Loss of 6, so they run it inside to about the 25-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and long again for Seneca Wallace. Curtis Lofton, the leading tackler on this Atlanta team, who's been bothered by a sore knee, in on the tackle with Troy Bierman.
So now another 3rd and long for Cleveland, built on running the football. Now, no one wants to be in this type of a long yardage situation. This allows Atlanta many options on defense. This is where you go to your nickel blitz package, but I wouldn't be surprised here to see if Atlanta play coverage and drop off and make it tough to find an open receiver.
That's what they were doing when the penalty flag flew. Bierman jumped across, but did Cleveland
Ball
move?
start, number 79, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
They tried the hard count, and it worked against themselves. Tony Pashos in at the starting right tackle spot for John St. Clair, who is injured.
2nd straight week, Pashos gets the start. Did a nice job blocking in Cincinnati. A little over-anxious on that play.
From the 20-yard line, Browns need to get up near the 38.5 to get a 1st down. Falcons do drop the coverage, and they're going to run the ball to the fullback, Lawrence Vickers, and that was just, let's play it safe and get out of here. But the crowd doesn't like it.
I know the crowd is not happy about it, but they have to understand what the Browns are playing with. You've got a wide receiver core that's still trying to develop, hasn't given you much push early, much production early in the season. Your tight ends become your primary receivers along with your running back, in particular Peyton Hillis. In this situation, with the defense playing well early, you play it a little safe, punt it away, and let your defense try and help you out.
This is a push and pull kind of game as Weems backs up inside his 25 to his 20. Takes the Hodges punt and is knocked down short of the 29-yard line. So Matt Ryan and the Atlanta offense trying to break a scoreless game will take over here in just a moment. Charles Davis, Chris Myers in Cleveland, Ohio. Next Saturday on Fox, the National League Championship Series begins. Who will be in there? We've seen some great performances already. Roy Halladay's no-hitter. Some terrific rallies.
Rick Ankiel's first ever postseason home run that wins a ball game for the Atlanta Braves.
Michael Turner on first down, and Eric Wright wouldn't let him go. Somehow he slips out of there before Matt Roth gets him from behind. And Atlanta opened that series, Charles, with Snelling, Jason Snelling, Michael Turner, and Mahaley, the fullback.
And Cleveland defensed it very well, except for putting Michael Turner on the ground. There's Eric Wright, who misses a shot there. Ataba Rubin, number 71, finally helping clean it up, but there were 2 or 3 missed tackles. They could have held that at no gain or a loss.
A little bit of a hurry up here by Matt Ryan on 2nd and 6.
Trying to change the tempo a little bit for Atlanta. They haven't had much success early. They go to the no huddle for various reasons. This time it's a tempo changer.
Trying to complete his first pass of the game, and he won't there. Incomplete. Let's check in, see what's going on around the league with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Eli Manning completes a pass. Giants in Houston. Eli hooking up with a key Knicks 6-yard score. The Giants are on the scoreboard first with a 7-0 lead. Chris and Charles?
Thank you very much. Speaking of Houston, that's something Matt Ryan paid close attention to when preparing the offseason.
No doubt about it. He spent a lot of time watching Texans cut-ups because he wanted to see how they used Andre Johnson, wanted to use Roddy White in many of the same ways.
3rd down at 6. The money down, as Matt calls it. Here comes pressure, picked up. Complete. First down across the 40 to Harry Douglas, the first completion of the game for Matt Ryan.
And you have to credit the Atlanta offensive line, because watch the protection that Matt Ryan gets from his big guys up front. You're going to see the rush coming, but watch what they do. They hold up, and then Harry Douglas with a little inside route, breaks it out to the sideline, picks up the first down.
Again, Matt Ryan hurries his unit to the line, calling the signals. Jason Snelling is the lone back. And Snelling carries. Cuts inside. Now, is this more for the Atlanta tempo, or is it more to keep the Cleveland defense from substituting?
It's 2 things. It's one, to make sure Atlanta tries to pick things up a little bit, but it's not a hurry-up no huddle. It's a no huddle to try and keep Cleveland from substituting. But the Browns are doing a nice job of rotating personnel before Atlanta can get set and snap the football and catch them with more guys on the field. They just did a wholesale substitution, something you don't normally see versus a no huddle.
Sean Rogers hustled off the field on 2nd down for that Cleveland defense. They're threatening pressure. And here they come again. Matt Ryan throws. It's incomplete. The pressure forced him to hurry his throw, intended for Justin Peele, the backup tight end to Gonzalez.
They've tried to get the ball to the All-Pro Tony Gonzalez on a couple of occasions today, actually 3 occasions, and he's been well covered each time. One time it's a defensive back, and twice it's been linebackers who've done a nice job taking away the throwing lanes for Matt Ryan, off to a slow start.
Another 3rd down early here from the 47 of Atlanta.
Normally on 3rd down, the pass game goes through Gonzalez or Roddy White.
Pressure coming, pass complete to Roddy White. First down at the 35 of the Browns. 33rd catch of the year. There is a flag down as Roddy White had his 33rd catch of the season for the first down. The flag is back at the 36 of Atlanta.
And Atlanta is very upset by what they perceive guys taking a run at their quarterback.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 58, defense, picking the quarterback up and into the ground. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Marcus Bernard.
Yeah, Marcus Bernard, who had the sack earlier, and he drives Matt Ryan into the ground, and that's where the penalty comes into play. And the Falcons rallied immediately to the defense of their quarterback. But Roddy White, wide open, which is going to be quite a surprise to Rob Ryan and the defensive coaches, because they circle him big time in the scouting report on 3rd down. You better find out where 84 is.
15-yard penalty, 18-yard pickup on the pass play to White. It's all the way down to the 20 of Cleveland. Matt Ryan sets to throw. Flips it complete. He couldn't find anybody. Michael Turner was in the neighborhood. The coverage downfield excellent for the Browns.
You have to give the Browns organization a lot of credit about guys they brought in to play for them on defense. Scott Fujita came in from the world champion New Orleans Saints as a free agent. They made a trade for Chris Gokong, number 51 from the Philadelphia Eagles. Eric Barton's been with the New York Jets and Oakland and played well. And Matt Roth in from Miami at the end of last year. They love how tough and physical they are, but they're also very athletic and smart as a linebacking unit.
Handoff goes to Turner, powering his way down to the 15 before a swarm of Browns. Let's get the little chippy down there. A penalty flag goes down after an Atlanta Falcon went down after the whistle had blown. Latava Rubin looked like he might have been involved.
I think Kenyon Coleman was down there also, tied up with an offensive lineman from the Falcons. One thing you think about when you play the Falcons is that they will get downfield as offensive linemen behind running plays and clean up for their running backs.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 90 defense. Half the distance to the goal. And an automatic first down.
And watch, back here. See, Coleman at that point takes, it looks like Todd McClure, number 62, and throws him to the ground, the starting center. The Browns are well aware that the Falcons offensive line will follow their running backs and near the end of the play try and get an extra block or two in to clean people off of their running backs. They're trying to set the tempo themselves. They got called with a penalty in that situation.
First and goal, Roddy White on the right side for Ryan. Turner gets it and is met hard at the 6-yard line. And it was Scott Fujita who told us the way that offensive line works, he didn't quite call them dirty, but he stopped just short, that they create that kind of atmosphere down in the trenches.
They play to the echo of the whistle, not just the whistle. They're going to play hard and try and put you out. But Matt Ryan in the red zone, the first 3 games of the season, scintillating. Last week, not so much. You know that's something that he's concerned about. And he told you, Chris, quarterbacks make their bones on 3rd down, red zone, and late game drives. Here's a red zone situation for him.
Roddy White splits out behind him. 2 receivers on the left. They're going to give it to Turner. And he is smothered to keep things scoreless, but a great opportunity for the Falcons to get some points. That is the end of the first quarter, and we're glad you're watching the NFL on Fox. The Falcons and the Browns scoreless at Cleveland, but Atlanta threatening. 11th play of this drive, another lengthy drive for the Falcons. Can they pay it off on 3rd and goal from the 6? Jason Snelling is in the backfield for Matt Ryan. Ryan sets up. He's moving, throwing through the end zone. The Cleveland defense does the job again.
Nickel set on defense, the coverage tremendous. Where do you go with that one? I don't care how good your arm is, there's nowhere to slot the ball. Right, Gonzalez initially, and then he goes back the other way, and Matt Ryan can't risk throwing it across his body to try and get it back to him on the movement. Well played by the Browns secondary.
Nickel back, Joe Hayden, the rookie from Florida, part of that excellent coverage. So Matt Ryan will attempt a 24-yard field goal. He's been a hero already. The NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, and delivers to get Atlanta out in front. Different from last week. They have a 3-0 advantage here in Cleveland. There's a new way to play fantasy football. Make real-time substitutions in 20 minutes. It's a fast-paced game, and the new games will start every 15 minutes, and you can play now at foxsports.com/live.
And take a look there. Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator on the left. Eric Mangini, the head coach on the right. They came together for the first time in New England. Trust each other implicitly. So right there, they're just talking coaching shorthand to each other about what they want to accomplish on defense.
Josh Cribbs gets out of it. Cribbs to the 40. And that's the return he's been waiting all year for. He's been frustrated. Not this time. Good position for Cleveland on offense. They hope to respond to Atlanta's field goal. A warm, sunny day here in Cleveland. Charles Davis, Chris Myers, Fran Morrison, our producer, Artie Kepner, our director, and a technical crew enjoying a real toe-to-toe contest from the 44-yard line now. as Josh Cribbs sets up the Browns with their best field position in this game. Peyton Hillis is back in at running back as they trail 3-0. Seneca Wallace got the start, continuing to move the Browns on offense. Fakes to Hillis. He has Massaquoi for a first down. Second catch of the game for Muhammad Massaquoi. And Dante Robinson there to make sure he didn't pick up more.
And very important for the Browns to continue to understand who they are as they create their identity. This is a first down play. They're trying to loosen the defense up so that they can run the football. That's who the Browns are, a power running team that wants to be efficient throwing the football. That's being efficient on first down.
Josh Cribbs at the bottom of your screen at receiver. Seneca Wallace throws, completes to Chancey Stuckey. It's another Cleveland first down, and Stuckey won't go down.
Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, established this early in the game. Throw the ball on the early downs when you're playing against base defenses. Chancey Stuckey, excellent job tight roping the sideline and picking up a few additional yards. Back-to-back first down plays, Chris. Pass plays, wide open receivers, both of them wide receivers, which has to give them a lot of heart and a lot of life because they haven't gotten the ball to receivers much this season.
18-yard pickup. They're bunched on the right. Who would have thought the Browns would have more passing yards than the Falcons? Wallace for the end zone, and Massaquoi. Touchdown, Cleveland! No! He did not stay in bounds. He clearly made the catch.
And the adjustment by Massaquoi to go from one shoulder to the other, juggling 1 foot down, 2nd foot on the white line. A nice call by the officials. No one's going to like it in Cleveland, but it's the correct call. Watch the 2nd foot. See that? Clearly into the white in the back of the end zone. The adjustment by Massaquoi, 1 foot down. Well, actually, let me take that back. If you get this, Atlanta better hope that they snap the football.
That angle looks different at high definition.
The second one, it sure looks like the first foot was down, and the 2nd foot too.
No challenge. Pass complete at the 18-yard line.
I think the Browns might have missed an opportunity for a challenge. Because here, catch, foot down, 2nd foot down. It's the 3rd foot that's out. So the only determination would have to be that the 1st foot didn't touch the ground, and I don't believe that would be true.
Well, the Browns are one of those organizations. They hired Dick McKenzie, who was a former official, to sit up in the press box and watch, and he works for the team to say, hey, challenge this, don't challenge this.
I think it would have been worth the challenge on the look that we had, the second look, because it appeared like 1st foot down, 2nd foot down, 3rd foot was out.
Browns going about their business on 3rd and 5 for Peyton Hillis, a one-handed catch. This is a touchdown, Cleveland. He's a throwback, and you can throw it forward, and he'll still make the play.
So much for the stereotype that Peyton Hillis just looks like a fullback and is a tank. We've seen 2 really nice athletic plays from him today. Hurdling a defender on the first play of the game when he caught the pass, and how about him reaching out and bringing this one in one hand into his body for the touchdown when it appeared the pass might have been just a little bit too long.
I don't think he was skipping off. I think he was kind of limping. He may be playing in pain as the extra point is good by Phil Dawson. And after an early fumble, Peyton Hillis responds. He has put on a show early for Cleveland fans, and in a blue-collar town, a blue-collar guy from Arkansas is producing. Seneca Wallace to Peyton Hillis. That has the Browns out in front, and we should have figured we'd have this kind of game. The 8 games combined with these 2 teams, Cleveland and Atlanta, 7 of them have gone down to the wire in the 4th quarter.
And with the style of play between the two, both of them are run-first type teams. When I was on the field in pregame talking to coaches from both sides, they both said we expect a quick game and a real hard-hitting type game because both teams want to play in a similar vein.
Phil Dawson kicks off to Eric Weems from his own end zone. And Weems Leaps into the air and is stopped at the 18. Nick Sorensen made the special teams play.
Let's go back to the touchdown. This is Croy Bierman, number 71, a defensive end. It's a zone blitz, but he has responsibility for the back out of the backfield. He was going to attack Peyton Hillis, thinking Hillis might step up to block him. Instead, Hillis exits out of the backfield on a pass route. And how athletic is that catch?
And Peyton Hillis, some say, was a throw-in in the Brady Quinn deal when he was traded and Hillis came from Denver. Well, Mike Holmgren, president of the Browns, said, no throw-in. Eric Mangini wanted Peyton Hillis. He had seen him run in Denver, do the things he has done, and we wanted that kind of work done here.
And you saw Seneca Wallace, who felt like he threw 2 touchdown passes on that drive, finally get credit for 1.
So on first down, Michael Turner looking for running room and makes his own running room up near an Atlanta first down. Now the last drive, Atlanta went 12 plays for 4.5 minutes, but just wound up with 3.
But that's not going to stop the Atlanta Falcons. We're talking now today about 2 backs, Chris, that are big bruising backs, but what about the feet on both of them? The athleticism. Normally when you hear big bruising back, you'd hear about a one-cut guy who starts rumbling downhill. Michael Turner used his vision, and his vision carried his feet back to the inside, made multiple cuts, and picked up 9 yards.
Michael Turner, 8 carries, 36 yards for Atlanta on 2nd and 1. Matt Ryan looks to throw and has time. And has a man, that is Roddy White, for a first down at the 45-yard line, maybe the 46 of Atlanta. T.J. Ward on the coverage.
Really nice job by Mike Mularkey, the offense coordinator of the Falcons, saying, let's take a shot on a 2nd and short situation. It was 2nd and less than 1, working on Eric Wright. You always hear about double moves from a receiver. That looked like 3 moves from Roddy White, and the pass protection was really good. Set up Matt Ryan, and he delivers outside a strike to Roddy White for a big first down.
And Charles, this is the quarter when both of these teams have put up points so far this year. Michael Turner is smothered for a loss. Let's get a game break and check in with Kurt Benefit.
The Rams kick a field goal to tie the game with Detroit at 3. They kick off after that, right? Stephon Logan appreciates it. He takes this kickoff return 105 yards for a touchdown, and the Lions lead the Rams early on in the 2nd quarter, 10-3. Chris and Charles.
Lions trying for their first win of the year. Enjoyed the Sam Bradford conversation with Terry Bradshaw on the NFL on Fox pregame show.
Stephon Logan cut by the Steelers in preseason. We saw Robert Smith go off for the Browns. Nice to see him off on his own power.
2nd and 12. Ryan sets up and is hit as he releases the ball. A vicious hit by Matt Roth, who had 2 sacks last week. Eric Barton, correction on that, got in on Matt Ryan. Sorry about that, I got excited.
That's all right, it was a big play. Look at Barton, number 50, right in the middle. Finds a seam in the pass protection between Blaylock, 63, and Baker, 72, and puts the hit on Matt Ryan.
On 3rd down.
And this is where Cleveland gets exotic with their with their pressures.
Ryan in trouble. Hit as he releases the ball, and it's complete at the 40-yard line to Tony Gonzalez. And man, was Ryan hit hard when he let that go. But got the football to Gonzalez for the first down.
And Chris, you never should underestimate the toughness of Matt Ryan. Watch this play, because at the end, he knew this hit was coming. Marcus Bernard is directly in his sight line, and he sizes it up and says, forget it, I'm delivering it to an open receiver, and I'm going to take the hit, and gets the ball downfield to Tony Gonzalez.
Bernard already a sack, a penalty for a late hit, and a hit that hurts as Snelling carries on first down.
Chris, in this ball game, as we approached it, we talked about Seneca Wallace's mobility, his legs keeping plays alive. We just saw Matt Ryan take that page out of Seneca Wallace's book and turn it against the Cleveland Browns for a big play.
Defensive coordinator Rob Ryan said he went back 2 years on game film to study Matt Ryan, and said he has no limits as a quarterback as to how good he is and can be.
Don't be fooled by the early numbers. This is a guy who stays calm and cool and delivers in big moments.
Hand off to Snelling. Out about the 35-yard line. of the Cleveland Browns. And it looks like the early shape of this game that the pass play is what's going to separate between the good tough runs and the good tough defense.
You're looking for the key pass play, the explosive play that helps break things open. Let's see if Matt Ryan settled down a little bit. He took that big hit, Chris, made the play, but you notice they came back with 2 running plays. Sometimes has to settle the quarterback back down after a huge hit.
3rd and 5. Matt Ryan steps up and he's going to run and get a first down. Wisely slides to make sure there isn't any contact and keeps the drive alive.
Matt Ryan sees the coverage immediately. The Browns had set up where the open was wide open, was totally open, where there was almost no one there. They had 2 rushers to each side of the offensive line, almost next to each other. The middle wide open, and Matt Ryan, when he didn't have someone initially, knew the middle was free and slid in there for a first down.
So Michael Turner checks in the backfield from the 33. Matt Ryan with time, still kick. Then he finds at the 20-yard line. Looks like he's a little bit short of the first down marker. That's his tight end, Tony Gonzalez. And it's another lengthy drive by this Atlanta Falcon team. But Charles, you say that's okay, but you need the big payoff at the end.
You want to pay it off in points, but what you're getting out of these long drives in the first half, you're hoping will be the attrition that shows up in the 4th quarter, when you can wear a defense down by continuing to put 10-plus play drives on them.
2nd down, Turner, and falls forward for the first down. Mike Smith was talking about time of possession in Atlanta, 2nd in the NFL in that department, slightly behind the Chargers, but he said if we control the clock, we in essence control the entire game.
And you talked about payoffs, Chris. Atlanta averaging 34 minutes per ball game, controlling the clock. It's Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator, up in the booth. They're 2nd in the league, but they're also 2nd in the league in red zone points with 74 coming into today's action.
Michael Turner in the backfield gets the football and is brought down in a hurry. It'll be 2nd down. It just seems like there hasn't been anybody open for Matt Ryan. He's had to run for it or scramble around to make something happen when he's tried to throw the ball downfield.
Rob Ryan's defense has done a nice job snugging up the receivers as they run their pass routes and taking away easy throwing lanes for the most part. Matt Ryan's done a real nice job keeping plays alive with his legs and creating some big plays out of it.
Sheldon Brown, the corner, Mike Adams in, extra defensive back, 2nd down, and we're going to get a timeout here. Cleveland calls time. That's their first timeout. You see the little white markers on the scoreboard that we show you on the side, those little dots. When one of those burns off, that means a timeout goes away. So Cleveland has 2 timeouts remaining, and the Atlanta Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts as they're threatening to score once again. Well, let me ask you, so far, we knew we'd be in a close game here, even though the Falcons come in 3-1 and the Browns 1-3. They've been in every game in the 4th quarter, in fact, led in every game in the 4th quarter. What do you think Atlanta will be doing here?
Well, I think that in this situation, at 2nd down, they can do whatever they want because of Matt Ryan. They can decide to go ahead and grind it a little bit more with the run game. But with Matt Ryan, you can fake it, bootleg him out, get him out on the edge to try and create a play. They're very confident with him. But Atlanta loves the flow of the game so far because of all the 10-play drives they're putting down early.
They were down here once before, settled for 3 on 2nd and 8. Ryan, quick pass because of pressure, and Snelling catches it, but is brought down in a hurry. It's another 3rd down for Matt Ryan.
And now to be the chess match between Mike Mularkey for Atlanta, the OC, and Rob Ryan for the Cleveland Browns. I'm sure he's going to want to come up with some type of a nickel look. As we take a look at the ball control, Atlanta already with 30 plays, almost 15 minutes of time of possession. Right on track with how Atlanta likes to win football games.
They're really making noise down in the dog pound.
Pass game continues to go through. Tony Gonzalez or Roddy White out wide.
On 3rd down, Matt Ryan again trying to make something happen, and he'll get nothing and have to like it.
It's really tough when the field is condensed because when the receivers have to convert routes, when Matt Ryan gets out of the pocket, they can't go deep because the back of the end zone prevents that. So you're trying to make plays against great coverage, but you really can't push a guy deep and then come back for the football. That option's taken away because of where they are on the field.
This was a secondary that got torched against Cincinnati last week, even though Cleveland won the game. And yet Matt Ryan can't find anybody open. So Matt Bryant will try his second field goal of the game. And once again, he delivers. So the Cleveland defense gets a win. The Cleveland team has a 1-point lead with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Short term, Cleveland has to love what they've done the last 2 possessions. Held Atlanta to field goals after drives of 12 plays and 14 plays. But long term, you have to wonder about the effect of these drives. Look at the Cleveland defense on the sidelines after these drives. These are some tired men out there, and it's an unseasonably warm day, as you mentioned at the top, Chris. 71 degrees at kickoff, expected to get warmer.
So Michael Kanan going to try a bit of a pooch kick to keep it away from Cribbs, who set up the offense nicely the last time with a big return, and that's Jerome Harrison, who's hit out of bounds at the 25-yard line. The Cleveland offense will take over. Is the defense wearing down? Atlanta's offense had the ball for more than 7 minutes on that last drive. Jerome Harrison in the backfield. First and 10 as Seneca Wallace rolls out, looks, throws, complete to Muhammad Massaquoi, and for Wallace, that's 9 of 11 so far.
And what's interesting about Seneca Wallace is he wants to be a starting quarterback like anyone in this league, but he knows his role. And I asked him, how difficult is it, you know, week to week? Are you in, are you out? And he said, man, this is not my first rodeo. All right, this is what I do. This is what they pay me for. I will always be ready, regardless of how they want to get me set each week, and he is.
After the 9-yard pickup, Harrison trying to get a first down. Seneca Wallace, remember, in Seattle, team president Mike Holmgren taking over here. Eric Mangini said, I wasn't sure. I heard about him, how good he could be. They thought Jake Delhomme would be their starter and was the opening week before an ankle injury. And each week he's gotten better, but thank goodness they have a reliable backup in Seneca Wallace, who is again starting his 4th consecutive game.
And in a new offensive system. We have an Atlanta Falcon down now. And in a new system, and there's Colt McCoy, who was drafted in the 3rd round. And what they want to do with him is essentially redshirt. They don't want Colt McCoy to play this year. They want him to absorb the system, learn how to be a quarterback in the NFL, and they want to avoid playing him as much as possible in this season. But going back to Seneca Wallace, new language that he's speaking in terms of a new offense. He's been a West Coast guy. And so we asked him, what's your offense here in Cleveland? He said, well, a little West Coast, a little East Coast, a little down south, a little down home. A lot of different mix and match that Brian Daboll is giving him. But what Brian Daboll does with him, plays to his strengths. What does Seneca Wallace do best? Use his mobility, get out of the pocket, and deliver the ball downfield. He's been very accurate early in this game.
And Seneca Wallace, Charles told us you have more freedom he does in this offense. Jamal Anderson came off. He was the injured Atlanta player. The Browns need 2 on 3rd down. And penalty flag. Looked like a timeout called by Cleveland. That's their 2nd, right before the snap.
Second charge timeout Cleveland.
They didn't like what they were in offensively versus what they were seeing defensively, so they got the call in from the sideline. It's a 3rd and short 2, but you notice they were not in a run formation, not a power set in that situation.
Jake Delhomme did practice somewhat on Friday and is the number 2 quarterback for this game, and they might get him in there. They said he couldn't move well enough to escape the rush, the quick pass rush of Atlanta. You might see him against the Steelers. Don't forget, next Saturday on Fox, the National League Championship Series, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, and already history being made. Some outstanding pitching early. Who will be in there? We get a Giants-Phillies matchup. You and I sat and watched in our production meeting with the crew. Cincinnati have a lead that the Phillies rallied on.
Let's get Don Larson together with Roy Halladay. Talk about history.
And we have a penalty here.
That looks like a false start against the Browns.
False start, number 82. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Now these are the penalties that are driving Eric Mangini crazy. What he calls the self-inflicted wounds. They had 3rd and a short 2, and now you're going to 3rd and 7. because of that penalty. Benjamin Watson, the tight end, they've got to start taking the Hippocratic oath, Chris. First, do no harm, and then they can worry about taking out opponents. Right now, they're hurting themselves.
Passing situation for Wallace. He has time. Almost intercepted. He came down the middle of the field, and Sean Weatherspoon nearly picked that off.
And that's why he was drafted out of Missouri. He's a guy who can really play all three linebacker spots. He has the mouth to be a middle linebacker. This is a guy whose mouth never stops, but they think it's all in a positive way. But the mobility really is as a terrific outside linebacker who can chase the football. We just saw evidence of it on that play.
Eric Weems, who has great speed for punt and kickoff returns, back on the Hodges boot. He's waving everybody away as it drops short of the 34-yard line and rolls back, where Atlanta will take over on first down. You can go to NFL.com's Game Center for Week 5 live game stats, fan discussions, in-game video highlights, and a lot more only at NFL.com/scores. And when you come to Cleveland, you see names in their Ring of Honor around this stadium, names that you heard about growing up, you saw NFL films on, and it's a great tradition. Guys now that are in the front office of opposing teams that have contributed over the years. Of course, the great Paul Brown. And when you watch and look on the field here, Canton, Ohio is just, what, 59 miles away.
Yeah, one of the all-time great franchises, the Cleveland Browns, and all their initial class in the Ring of Honor, all of those members are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Michael Turner breaks through. Michael Turner all the way down to the 12-yard line before Abram Elam, the safety, ran him down.
The run was terrific. Okay, watch what the offensive line does up front against the big people. Carves a big hole. Everyone is matched up. Look at Dahl right there. Look at him inside. Everyone is matched up, man on man. And then he slips the tackle from Elam in the secondary. He's at the third level with no effort. And now it becomes a sprint to the corner. A tired defense that didn't get much help from their offense because they didn't hold the ball for very long, right back on the field.
He almost ran over Elam twice, a 55-yard run, so Snelling carries this time. But Michael Turner, 12 carries for 94 yards. He came in, his average was under 4 yards a carry. He was bothered by that. He's averaging almost 8 yards a carry in this game so far. His longest run this season sets up Atlanta for another scoring opportunity.
What you've established, Chris, is that things have jumped up a bit for Michael Turner as things have started here in this ball game. Exactly what they wanted to do, get accomplished, get Michael Turner looking like the burner. And this is a very tired defense.
The defense wearing down in the heat, taking the pounding from that Falcon offensive line as we are nearing the 2-minute warning. And the Cleveland defense is probably saying we can't get there soon enough.
We'll take it because Atlanta not running a play here before the 2-minute warning.
Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts. The Browns have 1 remaining. They're protecting a 1-point lead. We've hit the 2-minute warning, but Michael Turner has the Falcons threatening. Atlanta with a 2nd and 12, winning the battle in the time of possession. You surprised they didn't snap the ball and go right before that 2-minute warning?
I was a little surprised because I thought they had them on the run in a tired defense. It's a heavy run set here. They might take a shot throwing the ball out of this set.
3 running backs in. Matt Ryan looks to throw. Matt Ryan, still nobody open, back of the end zone, and just kind of got rid of it. Excellent coverage again by the Cleveland secondary, and it brings up a 3rd down.
For all the talk I'm giving us about Cleveland and a tired defense and how many plays have happened, they've done a really nice job in the red zone anticipating play calls of Atlanta. That was a perfect down to throw the ball. 2nd down, try and take your shot in the end zone. Now they almost have to throw the ball. Excuse me, that was a 1st down play, and now they almost have to throw the football. This is 3rd down. This is 3rd down.
Roddy White on the right side. Finneran on the left. On 3rd down. Matt Ryan, a shovel, and not loose. The ball comes out. It's recovered by Atlanta, but it's an incompletion because it was a shovel pass. So another win for the Cleveland defense after they get beat up going downfield. They stall the Atlanta offense to force a field goal.
This is the classic bending and not breaking by the Cleveland defense. Although right there, Matt Roth almost broke Jason Snelling with a big hit coming inside. They've done a nice job once you get the field condensed. Cleveland is tough to score on. Just giving up big chunks of yardage getting down there.
It's almost Matt Ryan in Atlanta saying, we can't throw it, we're going to try this. So the field goal of 30 yards, and Matt Ryan has done all the scoring for the Falcons. And it is blocked. And T.J. Ward, the rookie safety who has been known for delivering hard hits, got his hand up to block the Matt Ryan field goal attempt.
Another opportunity missed by the Atlanta Falcons, which means what for Cleveland? That they grow in stature and in confidence, not just on the defensive side, but the offense should get a lift from what the defense is providing them. Right up the gut.
Snap looked good.
There's Ward slipping through.
And Atlanta special teams after the block punt last week.
See, what they did was they widened the wing guy. They widened him out, and he wasn't able to hold his position. Justin Peel, 87 inside enough, and T.J. Ward knifed through and blocked it. See, he widens out for Eric Wright, 21, which allows Ward, 43, just enough of an alley to get through, and he bats the ball away.
And frustration for the Falcons. We mentioned special teams problems in back-to-back weeks. Ward, the second-round draft pick from Oregon, with a big play, protecting Cleveland's lead. Ward throwing on first down and has Stuckey. Fancy Stuckey up near the 39-yard line, and Cleveland hustling. They have one timeout.
And this could be a big momentum builder for the Cleveland Browns. If they shut down Atlanta on another long drive and take it and put points on the board the other way going in at the half, you'll see the Browns sprint off the field at halftime if they're able to accomplish that.
Pass complete to Peyton Hillis. He's into Atlanta territory. And what a first half Seneca Wallace is having. Hillis gets up limping.
And there we are, 1 minute to go in the half. You see the clock ticking down. There's one timeout left for Cleveland.
Phil Dawson may have an opportunity here if they can pick up another 10 or 15 yards. Pass is incomplete.
Nice read by Seneca Wallace, trying to set up a screen to Peyton Hillis. He saw it was well defensed, just threw it at the ground at his feet. No incompletion, no tip ball.
The timeout, 2nd and 10, with 44 seconds remaining here in the first half. The Visa halftime report coming up. All the highlights and all the action. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Can Denver upset Baltimore? And how about Kyle Orton leading the NFL in passing coming into the weekend?
With virtually no running game.
And Tampa Bay looking for a running game, playing LeGarrette Blount more. Some of what you'll see at the half. Seneca Wallace looking for yardage from behind, is brought down and sacked by Abraham, his second of the game.
And John Abraham, he often thought of as just a speed guy, has some strength too as he takes on the All-Pro Joe Thomas. And this time gets low, runs the arc, and gets past the All-Pro for the big sack of Seneca Wallace.
And he's facing a guy who's been terrific from the start. Joe Thomas, 3 straight Pro Bowls, and Seneca Wallace is on the field in pain. As Jake Delhomme warms up, remember Colt McCoy, who has not played this year, is your third quarterback for Cleveland.
You talked about the weather here, Chris, at kickoff. 71, and you expected it to rise. A lot of times when you have these unseasonably warm days for these players who are used to it being a lot cooler, the cramps kick in. Seneca Wallace hopping off the field to get more medical attention.
So it's 3rd and 19. They had to burn their last timeout with 25 seconds go. Do you bring in Delhomme and try a Hail Mary? Do you just end the half with the 1-point lead? That's what the offensive coordinator is considering here. Phil Dawson, his career long is 56 yards. So they would need a big play and then some to try and make that happen.
We saw them attempt to screen a couple of downs ago. Might not be surprised to see something like that again, a screen or a draw, and then possibly punt the ball away and try and get it done here before the half. The other thing is work sidelines. Try and take a shot downfield, but get sidelines so you have a chance to get your field goal unit on.
So Jake Delhomme, his first action since the opening weekend in the NFL. And a quick pass is low, but what a grab by Stuckey.
But he needed to get to the sideline. He had no timeouts.
And they can't spike it because it's fourth down.
And now you're at fourth down here. And so what they're going to do is see what Atlanta wants to do. Right here, 10 seconds.
Throw the Hail Mary.
Throw the Hail Mary if Atlanta's not going to stop it with a timeout.
5-4, clock running. Will he get the snap before the half? No. Jake Delhomme says that's it. He's 1 for 1.
That did not look like they even wanted to snap the ball. That looked like go ahead and set up. If Atlanta gives you a penalty, take it. Otherwise, let's go off at the end of the half.
They're playing a close game again. The Browns leading the Falcons 7-6 at the half. Touchdown pass, Seneca Wallace to Peyton Hillis, and Matt Ryan has engineered some long drives for this Atlanta Falcon team, but resulting in field goals. And Jake Delhomme finished the first half because Seneca Wallace left injured. We'll get an update on that injury as we begin the second half. I guess part of the story is the frustration of the Atlanta offense not being able to get into the end zone.
When you hold the ball for 17 minutes, which is exactly how Atlanta wants to play the game, you want to see a payoff at the end. They came into this game second in the NFL in red zone points. They only got 6 in the first half and had a field goal block. That's not their idea of ball control and finishing drives.
The good news is Michael Turner has over 90 yards. They've run the ball well. They haven't been able to really throw it downfield, but they're still only down by a point.
Yeah, only down by a point. So what they're hoping is that the frustrations of the first half end up taking over in the second half, and they end up taking over in the fourth quarter. They'll see the attrition. We did see a tired Cleveland defense who did a great job battling in the first half and holding the Falcons off. And
we saw a special teams play go against Atlanta, a blocked field goal attempt. T.J. Ward of the Browns coming up with the big play as Eric Weems starts the second half. Is met hard at the 15-yard line. The Browns are out there hitting as Titus Brown delivers on what has been a toe-to-toe matchup all afternoon.
And right away the second half starts, and T.J. Ward, who gets a lot of acclaim as a safety, who cleans things up in the middle of the field. Not afraid to lay a hit on a running backward receiver. He starts things off in the second half.
As Matt Ryan takes the field, update here, Seneca Wallace with a right ankle injury. He is questionable for the remainder of this game, so already on a sore ankle, Jake Delhomme will lead the offense for Cleveland. Right now their defense, after a halftime break, on the spot, trying to protect the one-point lead. Matt Ryan to throw on first down and completes at the 20-yard line to Michael Palmer, who's the third tight end behind Gonzalez and Justin Field.
An undrafted free agent out of Clemson who is from Atlanta. So he grew up right in the shadow of the Falcons, found a way to make the football team, and gets his first NFL catch.
And to get that tempo you pointed out in the first half, Charles, Matt Ryan hurrying the offense to the line of scrimmage on a first down.
And as this drive progresses, I want to see if Atlanta wants to play a little bit quicker. They've had no huddle, but it hasn't been hurry up, and that's allowed Cleveland to substitute on defense. Let's see if Atlanta changes up to try and keep personnel on the field.
Roddy White on the right side. Pass thrown in that direction to Gonzalez, who runs out of bounds up near the 35-yard line.
See, it's no huddle. They're going right to the line of scrimmage, but it's not quick tempo. But what they're doing is Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator, getting the play call in early to Matt Ryan. Now he has the call, and all this time to watch the Browns defense operate and get them into a better call if he needs to. He gets a chance to read the defense and make a check.
Michael Turner in the backfield. He gets the delayed handoff. Maybe a couple of yards. It'll bring up third down. Seneca Wallace, who went in at the half, we thought maybe cramps. It's about 10 degrees above normal here, but a right ankle injury. He was hit hard on a drive trying to get them in field goal range, cheering on the Brown defense, and had a terrific first half. But Jake Delhomme will take the handoff from here when Cleveland gets the ball back. But first they have to stop Atlanta on 3rd and 2. Roddy White on the right side. Harry Douglas splits far left. 2 tight ends. Matt Ryan, ball is loose. And it looks like the Browns have a clear shot at it. Coleman was the first to get there. The Browns do have it. A sack, fumble, recovery. Cleveland first down.
And the pressure comes from the backside of Matt Ryan. There he is, number 99, Scott Fujita. Tyson Claybo, number 77, thought he pushed him far enough wide, but he did not. And Matt Ryan holding the football, looking for someone downfield, does not sense Fujita's presence. He knocks the ball free, and Kenyon Coleman, who picked up 2 fumble recoveries last week in Cincinnati, gathers another one, and the Cleveland Browns open the second half in great shape on offense.
And Jake Delhomme says, I'll take this anytime from inside the Atlanta 25. He threw 1 pass at the end of the first half, a short completion. He looks to throw here and completes short to Robert Roy. Royal, the tight end behind Ben Watson and Evan Moore. And let's go back to the second quarter when Seneca Wallace was injured.
They were having a nice drive to end the first half, and then he was sacked on the backside by John Abraham. And he caught his ankle underneath, and that's where Seneca Wallace hurt himself. And right now is not in the ball game. Jake Delhomme taking over, and as you noted, Chris, already with an injured ankle himself. A high ankle sprain has caused him to miss the last 3 ball games.
Josh Cribbs is in. They call it their slash instead of their wildcat. He's at quarterback. And Cribbs throws, completes. He has a pass to Vickers down to the 6-yard line. So you got a running back or a return man receiver throwing to a fullback.
And, you know, many people, whatever you call the wildcat, each team has its name. When Josh Cribbs is in, it's called the Flash because he played at Kent State and they're the Golden Flashes. And he hits Lawrence Vickers, who's known as a good lead blocker. Only had 1 catch prior to that one on the season, but he's a versatile player. He was so versatile at Colorado that they named the position the V-back because it was Vickers, and it didn't matter where they put him, he produced.
He stays in at receiver. Peyton Hillis is the back. It's first and goal, Cleveland. Delhomme, end zone, almost intercepted. He was trying to get to Cribbs, who had 4 Falcons around him.
Really good coverage by the Atlanta Falcons, not fooled on a rundown. William Moore jumps up, but Brent Grimes, number 20, is there, and a nice job falling back into coverage by Thomas Deku, number 28. Reading Jake Delhomme all the way, almost comes up with a big interception and finishes off the drive. Cleveland was fortunate.
Massaquoi splits out to the left with Cribbs in the slot.
There's Cribbs now coming in motion.
Sometimes the tight end is in play here. On second and goal. They're going to run it to Hillis. Powering forward, he won't go down. And finally, stops short of the 2-yard line.
When Peyton Hillis runs the football, this is why it's not called a contact sport, but rather a collision sport. And that wasn't just anyone he ran over. That was Curtis Lofton, who had 160 tackles last year and was honorable mention for the Pro Bowl.
That's why he has been the face of this offense in Cleveland. Last week on 2 separate instances, knocked 2 Bengal defenders out of the game. Jonathan Joseph and Roy Williams, a punishing runner. Third and goal. The ball is fumbled. Bad exchange.
Don't forget, Jake Delhomme, who is the starting quarterback, hasn't taken many snaps in practice since week 1. Because the starter gets the bulk of the snaps, sometimes you have trouble with quarterback-center exchange. The Browns fortunate to come up with a fumble recovery and will have an opportunity to kick a field goal.
And it was Peyton Hillis who recovered the fumble on the bad exchange.
No chance for Peyton Hillis to get the ball. It was off right out of the gate because Jake Delhomme didn't possess it after the snap, and the ball just slid out. So he never got it to Peyton Hillis to try and get it into the end zone. The Browns, again, fortunate to recover.
Phil Dawson, a 19-yard field goal attempt. And this kick is good. So Hill is frustrated, but the Browns, off a turnover, widen their lead here in the third quarter. Just around the corner from Cleveland Browns Stadium, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in Beautiful downtown Cleveland. It's a Chamber of Commerce day, sunny and warm. Actually got to tour the Hall of Fame, saw Elvis Presley, his football jersey and pads. His mother wouldn't let him play beyond high school.
Mama said you're not playing any football.
We don't want you getting hurt. He had a pretty good career doing something else.
Saw Peyton Hillis trying to work out his injured thigh on the exercise bike.
Eric Weems has some room. Best return of the day for Atlanta, up across the 30-yard line. They're trailing by 4. Joe Hayden ran him out. Speaking of Hall of Famers, Tom Petty will take us to the intermission, and we'll have more from Cleveland.
Chris, check this out. Look at Peyton Hillis. He's calling Jake Delhomme right now. See what he said to him? You owe me one. After the fumble exchange down the goal line, Peyton Hillis wanted a chance to rumble into the end zone.
And Hillis did a nice job of coming out of there with that football to at least give the Browns a chance at 3 as Michael Turner carries, getting closer to a 100-yard rushing day. And the Browns have not allowed a 100-yard rusher all season long. They also have not allowed a touchdown on the ground. So this defense that has been criticized in the secondary for being torn up yardage-wise, they've held their own in all departments today.
And what they have not given up in the secondary is the big explosive pass play. Nothing huge downfield, unlike other games that you talked about. Anquan Bolden torched them, and so did Terrell Owens.
Matt Ryan looks downfield. His third option is a hit on Gonzalez, but he caught the football. Sheldon Brown from his corner spot, and Sheldon Brown is down on the field. Earlier, we had Blake Costanzo on the special teams unit for Cleveland, one of their top players, go off injured.
Look at this. Sheldon Brown delivered the blow.
Looked like helmet.
But took the brunt of it.
Maybe the helmet.
Tony Gonzalez is a big, thick receiver.
We'll check on the injury to Sheldon Brown and have more from Cleveland in a moment. It's been a throwback style of football here in Cleveland, and a couple of veteran coordinators, Rob Ryan, defensive coordinator of the Browns, and Mike Mularkey behind the glass upstairs, going, I should say, back and forth almost as if it were a chess match on third down. Ryan looks to throw. And has Justin Peele at the 45-yard line for a first down.
The mobility of Matt Ryan, despite the hits he's taken today, has been a real asset to this Atlanta Falcons offense today.
And Joe Hayden came in, the rookie, for the injured Sheldon Brown.
And that was the portion of the field they ended up attacking ultimately. Matt Ryan, using a little bit of mobility, gets out of the pocket, keeps the play alive, and delivers downfield for Sheldon Brown, now back in the game.
But a fresh set of downs from Matt Ryan from the 45. Snelling, he fakes. Ryan, he throws. He's got Ronnie White down the middle of the field, and that is a touchdown Falcons. Sheldon Brown tried to stay with him.
This is excellent job to me of the Atlanta Falcons staff, recognizing what's just gone on in the last sequence. Sheldon Brown makes the big hit on Tony Gonzalez and gets hurt, goes out for a play. They attack Joe Hayden, his replacement, his side for the first down. Sheldon Brown comes back into the game. They test him immediately with the big strike downfield. You know, it's an old coaching adage. When a guy comes back into the game, attack him right away. See what he's got. Atlanta tested him and found him wanting on that play.
So the extra point gives Atlanta now a 3-point lead. Matt Ryan delivering to his go-to guy here in Cleveland. Matt Ryan says he's not more emotional or more vocal this year, but maybe he doesn't realize it.
But look at how he is. This is what a leader does. Touches everyone on the offense. Nice job, fellas. Well done. Well played. Give me a little time. I can do that all the time. And Roddy White with the big strike. That's his first catch this year, believe it or not. Over 25 yards.
That is unbelievable. His third touchdown catch for Atlanta this season. And Jerome Harrison pickup on the kick, dropped in. Good special teams coverage as he's knocked down short of the 24-yard line. And we got a fight going on down here. The whistle is going. The players are not stopping. I'm not going to call out numbers until we hear what the official says. No flag, just a lot of pushing and shoving. A little heated on the field and temperature-wise, but Matt Ryan, maturing before our very eyes, puts the Falcons in front.
What we have here for the Browns, it looks like quarters coverage. Each guy here is responsible for 1/4 of the field going back this way. But watch what happens. Tony Gonzalez attracts attention right here, so Abe Elam jumps him at safety, which leaves Sheldon Brown one-on-one outside with Roddy White. The result, Atlanta Falcons touchdown.
Peyton Hillis carries on first down and doesn't get much. Let's go back to that touchdown play.
Yeah, because Tony Gonzalez running up the middle of the field. See, right here is where he attracts the attention. He's got the linebacker and the safety who jumps in. Now out here, now it gives Roddy White one-on-one coverage essentially, and now he crosses actually into the quarter field coverage where the safety's supposed to be. Matt Ryan recognizes his one-on-one. That's about as well thrown as you're going to get, and Roddy White gets his first truly explosive play of the year and celebrates by throwing it down in the city where he who shall not be named used to play.
Sean Weatherspoon, who is coming off an injured ankle, is down on the field. We'll update that in just a moment. Sean Weatherspoon walked off the field and is headed toward the locker room now. Stephen Nicholas, who subbed when he was out previously with an ankle injury, will step into that starting linebacker spot on second down for Jake Delhomme and the Browns, trailing by 3. Delhomme in for the injured Seneca Wallace. Hurt his ankle late in the second quarter.
I want to see if Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, wants to try and attack Jake Delhomme a little bit.
Here comes pressure. Pass is thrown to Cribbs, incomplete. It'll bring up third down. 35-year-old Jake Delhomme, of course, familiar with Atlanta all those years with Carolina in the same division, seeing the Falcons twice a year.
They're pretty familiar with Jake Delhomme, but they also understand that he's missed the last 3 games with a high ankle sprain. They've seen him come into the game and not exhibit much mobility. It looks like he's really playing on a sore ankle. In the first down play for the Atlanta Falcons, they brought pressure. I expect them to continue to dial it up against Jake Delhomme.
3rd and 8, 2 receivers on the right. Cribbs lines up top of your screen for Delhomme. Protection. Delhomme's throw. Reaching out and making the catch is Ben Watson, the tight end, who came in as the leading receiver, but they haven't gone in his direction much today.
That's a beautiful catch, and that's what you're going to have to do to help Jake Delhomme right now as he gets settled. Joe Thomas has had a bit of a struggle with John Abraham this today, but right there he kept him out of Jake Delhomme's face, and he delivered with Croy Bierman, 71, getting up in front of him.
An important first down in terms of a shift maybe of momentum after the big play from Atlanta. Put the Brownies behind by 3. Delhomme's pass, that's complete again to Watson. Nicholas right with him. It'll bring up second down. And one of the reasons Jake Delhomme, even though he was limited in practice, did not get the start, at least according to the coaching staff, was that they said his maneuverability to avoid the rush just wasn't there, and it would limit him being able to get away from pressure.
Chris, he's gotten away from pressure a little bit on the first 2 throws of this drive, but it's evident that he does have a sore ankle.
Cribbs on the left side. Hillis the back. Again, Delhomme wants to throw and does have time. And just does miss for Josh Cribbs.
I'm not sure how they missed on this one. I thought they had this one all the way, and Josh Cribbs tries to lay out at the last second to get it. Oh, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you're thinking just another inch or 2. That's all they need.
And maybe it's that timing you were talking about with Jake Delhomme, having limited practice, having played only in the opener before getting into this game. So 3rd and 7. Missed on a big play. Atlanta hit on a big play. That's why they lead. Pass is intercepted, and a penalty flag is down. This may come back with interference. Thomas Deku has the interception. Dante Robinson was covering Massaquoi, and that was the direction Delhomme was going.
And that's where the flag's going to be thrown, because Dante Robinson ended up getting a hand Muhammad Massaquoi and pulled him off of his route.
And Mike Smith has said that wasn't a catchable ball.
But Thomas Deku did catch it. So that's going to hurt his argument.
Yeah.
Pass interference. Number 23. Defense. Automatic first down at the spot of the ball.
And I think that if I'm Brian Van Gorder, I'm saying uncatchable too. But what hurts the argument is that Thomas Deku of his team catches the football. So it kind of throws that away. And a lot of times a pass is uncatchable because you interfered with the receiver.
15-yard penalty, and Peyton Hillis, injured on the sideline, had to be helped off over to the Cleveland bench. He's been in and out of the lineup. Remember, didn't practice on Friday because of his hip injury. He does have a touchdown catch in this game for Cleveland. A fresh set of downs inside the 45, so Jerome Harrison checks in the backfield. Malone sets to throw and has time in the middle of the field for Watson, incomplete. Are you surprised they're throwing as much?
They've been doing this throughout the game, Chris. This has been their game plan. Throw on the early downs to try and set up shorter distance runs in terms of second and short, third and short, things of that nature to try and help out their running game and loosen it up. I'm a little surprised they've continued on that tack with Jake Delhomme in the game because of his lack of mobility. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brian Van Gorder start to dial up a few more early pressures to see if they want to continue to throw the ball on first and second down.
This time they weren't nowhere. Harrison tripped up right away. The Atlanta defense all over that. Like Steinbach got in the way.
Yeah,
his own back.
And he's played at a really high level early in the season. Number 65, Eric Steinbach, there he is, blocking. And unfortunately, Jerome Harrison finds his ankle, and that helps bring him to the ground. Because it looked like Steinbach had done a nice job on the block.
Yeah, running back has to pick up his feet, and a pickup is maybe what Peyton Hillis can give this offense. He checks back in on third down and 10. Will Atlanta bring the heat?
I think they're going to come after him here.
It certainly looks like it. Jake Delhomme could see it. Here they come. Penalty flag. Delhomme's throw. And did Stuckey hang on? No, it came out. But there's a flag down.
A lot of jumping in the offensive line.
That was not an authoritative throw by Delhomme.
Illegal formation. Number 82 of the offense was covered up. That penalty's been declined. Incomplete pass. Fourth down.
Call was on Ben Watson.
And what they mean is when the tight end is covered up to his side, the receiver that's eligible has to be a yard off of the line of scrimmage in order to make him eligible. If he's covered up on the line of scrimmage with him, that makes him just strictly a blocker, and he went out and ran a pass route.
Twice as many penalties on the Browns in this game as they have had called on Atlanta. Eric leans, lets the ball bounce, and the Browns are there to down it. Joe Hayden tapped it back to keep it from going into the end zone.
You know how many times you go to a scouting combine and people say, I don't care about if a guy can vertical jump and all, I want to know if he's a football player, but sometimes it does apply. And Joe Hayden had a tremendous vertical leap when he went to the combine, and he used it there to knock the ball dead inside the 2-yard line.
Starting at a hole will the Atlanta offense be after a big play from Ronnie White, a touchdown from Matt Ryan, giving them a 3-point lead.
Danger zone here for the Atlanta offense because Rob Ryan is an aggressive play caller on defense. He's thinking turnover, try and force a safety here.
Matt Ryan just keeps and falls forward. Remember, there was a turnover when Matt Ryan was hit and fumbled and Coleman recovered. So Atlanta protecting the football, part of what Mike Smith was preaching to his team coming in.
And isn't it interesting how everyone keeps a book on the other coaches in the league? Mike Mularkey has a book on Rob Ryan and his tendencies. Rob Ryan has a book on Mike Mularkey and his tendencies. Mike Mularkey said, I know what he likes to do. Pressure, get upfield in these situations, ran quarterback sneak to try and avoid the turnover.
It's unfriendly down there if you're a Falcon. The fullback, Mahaley. Let's check in for a quick game break with Kurt Menefee.
We send it up to Buffalo, where the Jacksonville Jaguars have taken the lead. David Garrard hooking up with Mike Sims Walker's 7-yard score, 7 points, and a 7-point Jaguar edge in the third quarter. This is all.
Thanks, Kurt. Keeping an eye on all the action. Buffalo trying to get its first win of the season.
And Jacksonville thinks they're right in the thick of the AFC South race. Tied in, they're at 2-2 right now, and believe that's the same record as the Indianapolis Colts.
3rd and 7. Matt Ryan said we have noise and domes, but this is different. Pass is complete. Short of the first down to Harry Douglas. And Eric Wright was right with him.
Harry Douglas's extension would have made it close, but Eric Wright's tackle put him down about a yard short. Really nice job in the open field. What do you always hear about being a difficult tackle? Is an open field tackle, one-on-one with a shifty receiver or running back. Eric Wright accomplished it very well.
You talk about a major moment in a tight game. That was a big play by Cleveland's defense.
And now even short of a return by Josh Cribbs, field position shifts back to the Cleveland Browns.
A Cribbs return, a good one, set up the only touchdown of the game for Cleveland. Canaan's boot is a good one. Cribbs, fair catch. Inside the Atlanta 48, there's a flag down back at the 5-yard line. Check on the call here.
During the kick, holding number 59 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st and 10, Cleveland.
Titus Brown with a mistake on the part of the Browns and support the NFL. A crucial catch. Breast cancer awareness campaign by bidding on authentic game day NFL Pink products and experiences at NFL.com/action. Proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. You saw Scott Fujita, his mother Helen, has survived 2 bouts of breast cancer. Mike Holmgren, president of the team, his wife Kathy, a breast cancer survivor. So we appreciate all the support, and let's keep the fight up.
And Evan Moore, the tight end for the Cleveland Browns, his grandmother diagnosed with it, battling the good fight right now. And Evan Moore caught his first touchdown pass and gave his gloves, which had pink gloves on that day, and took them to his grandmother.
The penalty backing the Browns up. Peyton Hillis is back in on 1st and 10. He gets the carry, and Hillis trying to find room, his best run of the day. William Moore from his safety spot had to stop Hillis, who came in averaging almost 5 yards a carry.
And this guy is you talk about the quintessential tough guy. He comes out, gives you everything you've got, everything he's got, limps off the field, gets a little treatment, and will try and come back out here again and get it done. Peyton Hillis has been playing hurt this entire ball game, and every time he's out there, though, you wouldn't think that he is.
9-yard pickup. So Jerome Harrison checks in and gets the football. Can he get the first down? Falcons were there to run up against him. Peyton Hillis, when you talk to him, he looks like one of those characters from Friday Night Lights at Arkansas. You know, he played in the shadow of guys like Darren McFadden and Felix Jones. But toughness, he says that's my calling card. My dad said, whatever you do, be tough and you'll have a job somewhere. And he is playing tough today. Talk about Arkansas.
They take with the right, and that's who he was there with, McFadden and Felix Jones. He had 1 year there before those two got there to be the lead runner. And then after they got there, he had to accept a lesser role, never complained, but always had confidence he could get it done.
On 1st down, Delhomme goes down. Ball is out. And at the 40, quick to recover it is Tony Pashos. Delhomme hit hard from the blind side. Seneca Wallace injuring his ankle late in the 2nd quarter. So Jake Delhomme, who wasn't healthy enough to start, came in, engineered a field goal off a turnover. That was Jamal Anderson, who got a shot in on Delhomme, and Colt McCoy would be your 3rd quarterback.
And frankly, Chris, he's not healthy now. If you watch Jake Delhomme maneuver, everything is a limp right now. So don't be surprised at all to see the Falcons continue to try and put pressure on him, even on the early downs.
On a timeout. And delay a game, maybe.
Delay a game. Offense 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So they're going backwards right now. And Peyton Hillis had lined up on the far left as a wide receiver, Charles. And in that situation, now you wonder, would they go back if Seneca could come back into the game? If you go to your third quarterback, then you can't use anybody else until the fourth quarter.
Exactly. And so Jake Delhomme is trying to be a gamer and stay out there and give them everything he's got. But it's evident he's not healthy. Obviously, Seneca Wallace not healthy enough to come into the game now. If you're the Atlanta Falcons, I'm thinking total attack mode.
He has time and has a receiver short of the first down, but going again to his tight end, Ben Watson. And it looks like between Delhomme and Peyton Hillis, the Browns are a battered bunch.
You admire his courage, and what's going to carry him through is his veteran savvy. Being able to read defenses, get rid of the football before the rush gets there, and hopefully he will not have to try and maneuver out of the pocket and scramble and keep plays alive, because he won't be able to. Now, I want to see what Brian Van Gorder dials up now with his defense to try and go after a quarterback who's immobile.
On 3rd and 15, you see the game clock as well as the play clock here. And Jake's going to let it roll.
And the game clock won, which was good for the Cleveland Browns.
We got a tight one going in Cleveland. The Atlanta Falcons trying to get their fourth win. Up on the Browns by 3. Along with Charles Davis, Chris Myers, the NFL on Fox, and that tells you right there, excited and intense. That's how you would describe the scene in Cleveland. Another close game, and that's the kind of games that both of these teams have been in all year long.
Third and long here, Chris, and it looks like Atlanta's going to play coverage and rush 4.
Peyton Hillis is the back for Jake Delhomme. He's in trouble. Delhomme just gets rid of it, and it'll bring up a punting situation for Cleveland.
You know, the crowd's unhappy, but that was a good move by Jake Delhomme, getting rid of it over the sideline. He didn't throw it up for grabs and just make it into a turnover that Atlanta could have returned for a big play. Punt the ball down and hopefully play field position again. They had them pinned on their own 2-yard line, held them, got the ball in good field position. They have another opportunity here.
So an important punt coming up for Hodges and Eric Weems back at the 10-yard line to keep the field position battle in favor of Cleveland, and this will work against the Browns. Too much on that. Atlanta will take over at the 20 with Matt Ryan. Meanwhile, Jake Delhomme has seen it all, and he's frustrated today. The Ring of Honor here at Cleveland Brown Stadium. This organization putting 16 players in the Hall of Fame.
And all of them, the initial class of Ring of Honor. There's Lou Groza, Lou the Toe, number 76, offensive tackle and kicker back in the days when you played both positions. Saw I think Dante Lavelli up there. Great receiver for the Cleveland
Blue
Browns.
Fingers, is that who that was?
Yeah, opposite
right.
Max Speedy.
Stuck on 99 is Michael Turner, and he'll pick up 100 yards. Let's get a game break with Kurt Benefield.
Well, the Lions, Nate Burleson gets away with a little bit of premature celebration here. Takes the catch from Sean Hill, starts celebrating early, but it didn't cost him. 26-yard score, and the Lions have it on cruise control, looking for that first win of the season, up 31-6 in the third quarter. Chris and Charles.
Thanks, Kurt. And they hope to get Matthew Stafford back, who was injured early in the season. And here, because of Seneca Wallace's injury, an injured Jake Delhomme has taken over for Cleveland. Meanwhile, Matt Ryan has led Atlanta to a 3-point lead, and another completion to that guy who caught the go-ahead touchdown pass, Roddy White, going out of bounds. You know, Roddy White, it's such a diva position. The fact that he made the big play last week, creating the fumble, has worked hard to gain the trust of his quarterback, has really been a team player for this Falcon squad.
A team player, and gets better and better as a receiver. And what a nice throw by Matt Ryan. All the way to the sideline, put it right on Roddy White, and gave him a chance to actually turn up field and gain a couple of additional yards.
And it is a first down. Another time-consuming drive is what Matt Ryan would like here. Michael Turner, maybe a yard, so he is the first runner this year to break the 100-yard barrier against this Cleveland defense.
And Chris, as we look at this big picture now, this is how I see it for the Cleveland Browns. A tired game defense I mean, they battled this whole way, and it has actually held this game in check most of the way for them, even though the drives have been long and time-consuming for Atlanta. And then you flip it over to offense. You've got a hurt quarterback with no mobility in a position right now, down 3, possibly having to lead a drive that can put them either in a tie or in a game-winning situation.
Matt Ryan, pass complete. Knocked down at the 35-yard line is Gonzalez. Well, and you also have Peyton Hillis, your star runner, who was injured, and yet somehow the Browns have been able to stay in the game, down only 3.
Earlier in the game, we saw Peyton Hillis from the Browns avoid a big hit, leaping over someone. How about Tony Gonzalez, recognizing the big hit is coming his way, gets over the top, and takes care of his body.
So 3rd down facing Matt Ryan. Atlanta needs 4 to keep the drive alive. The Browns want to get the ball back, not give up too much field position here. Ryan from the pocket, complete to Roddy White. How did he get so wide open?
Well, one of the reasons he got open like that is because Sam Baker, number 72, the blind side protector for Matt Ryan, did his job and did it well. All right, watch here. He's working against Marcus Bernard, number 58, pushes him past. Look at the cup that was set for Matt Ryan, and Roddy White able to run the shallow cross all the way underneath for the 1st down completion.
5 catches over 100 yards for Roddy White. Snelling back to Matt Ryan. He gets it back to Snelling. All that and back to the line of scrimmage.
What's the old expression, Chris, that we probably learned in school at one point? Much sound and fury signifying almost nothing. But the good thing is
that Shakespeare?
I don't know who said it, but he said it well. Now, here's the game. Mike Mularkey was trying to get the big strike there. Cleveland blitzes it and almost creates a big play themselves.
Joe Hayden got in.
Joe Hayden almost knocks it free, and Matt Ryan has enough presence to shovel it forward to hit Jason Snelling. And he's like, wait, that's not how it was drawn up, Matt.
All right, but Snelling knows what to do when he gets it this way near a 1st down. Chris, and the clock running here.
Chris, we saw the emergence of Jason Snelling last year, and I thought it came to a crescendo in their last game of the season at Tampa Bay, trying to get to a 9-7 record so they'd have the first back-to-back winning seasons in Falcons history, and he went for 147 yards that day and led them to victory.
The word trust is what the Falcons use when they talk about him, but he just came up short of a 1st down, so 3rd and inches. Snelling is still in there. Snelling, what a tackle. Eric Barton got out of him in a hurry and brought him down.
Looks like it's going to be a little bit short. It Obi Mihaly leading on the play. And a really nice tackle that's put Atlanta in a situation where they're going to think about it. Do we go for it, or do we punt the ball away and play defense? Personally, I kick the ball here. I'll go ahead and kick it deep and let my defense take over.
They're going to call for a measurement here. Talk about trust. Not enough on this one.
See, there's Mihaly, 34, leading. Everything's there. If Barton doesn't make that tackle, it's an easy 1st down. Knifing through, unaccounted for, wraps him up short of the 1st down. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that Mike Smith, the coach of the Falcons, does not mind going for it on 4th down. He's a guy that goes for it and gets it about 70% of the time, depending.
Wow, that looks like
that's a lot. Wow. I mean, that seems like a long way.
Would you?
I would punt the ball away. All right, that's just me. Mike Smith's reputation is that he likes to go for it in these situations, and it certainly appears that he's going to here.
So this is a chance in a game where the Cleveland defense may have to win it for Cleveland to win it, and it would be a down like this that could change everything.
Right now is when the Cleveland defense has to give their offense an opportunity.
Atlanta successful in 6 4th down tries this year. They hit on 4 of them. They need about a yard. Here we go. Michael Turner is back in.
They're just trying to draw them off sides. A lot of motion, a lot of confusion, hard count. I don't think they want to run a play here. Yeah, they're just trying to draw them off sides. Chris, they'll take the penalty now and punt it away.
And the Browns were ready for it. They were as alert as you were. Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator, had those veterans that you talked about. Scott Fujita, Eric Barton, Do Kong. They knew what was coming.
Good veteran presence. And it's a good scouting because Mike Mularkey uses what all the time? Lots of motions, lots of shifts, lots of misdirection. They went with the hard count there, and they were trying to get the cheap first down, but great discipline by the Browns defense because that helps you mentally as well as physically. Hey, we matched right up with you, and you didn't get us. Now you got to go ahead and kick the ball away, and they turn it over for their offense.
And a major moment in this game here in the fourth quarter because it seems as if both coaches are putting their defense on the line and saying, you win it for me, you save it for me.
And it's more important for the Browns because their offense is going to sputter now, or I should say, has sputtered in the second half with Jake Delhomme coming in the game on an injured ankle.
Kanan will punt. Cribbs with a chance from inside his 10. Let's see if he can get his hands on the football. He lets it go, and it goes into the end zone. A break for the Browns, who will be 80 yards away from a touchdown. But they only need 3 to force a tie. We're in the thick of the fourth quarter in Cleveland. The story in Cleveland, a Browns defense wearing down in the heat and a punishing Atlanta running game. Seneca Wallace with an injured ankle, and now Jake Delhomme, the veteran, on the spot, who so far is 5 of 11 and trailing by 3. The defensive coordinator on one side, the offensive coordinator on the other. The chess game continues as Josh Cribbs checks in for their version of the Wildcat in the quarterback slot, and he keeps Cribbs across the 25-yard line. So let's talk about the chess match.
And the chess match now is if Jake Delhomme's in at quarterback, I expect Brian Van Gorder for the Falcons to be extremely aggressive against him on run and pass downs. Run blitzes on the run downs, and of course going after him hard on pass plays. When Josh Cribbs is in the game, it might keep them a little bit more at bay because of his ability to be shifty both in and out of the pocket.
He's going to stay in after a 7-yard pickup. You like this?
Yeah, I think this is a good move for the Browns because they're trying to find a way to manufacture some offense right now.
Peyton Hillis goes nowhere. It'll bring up third down. Jake Delhomme is standing and looking back at the sideline. It'll bring up third and short. If you're Cleveland, you don't want to give the ball back to Atlanta and that time-consuming offense of the Falcons. Delhomme will be in at quarterback. They need 2.
And now Peyton Hillis, your heavy runner, is shifted all the way out to the side as we look at the defense today. That's Peyton Hillis all the way at the top of the screen.
Josh Cribbs right next to him. From the shotgun, it's Delhomme. Pass to Stuckey. Near the first down marker. Looks like he got it. Seneca Wallace was having a heck of a first half. 11 out of 15, 139 yards and a touchdown. So now the offensive philosophy shifts a little.
It has to, just because they know Jake Delhomme cannot get outside the pocket and really create plays because of his injured ankle. Chancey Stuckey, nice route, and Delhomme puts the ball on him for a first down.
And you said at the start of the broadcast, Atlanta had to worry about preparing for both quarterbacks during the week, and they're seeing both. On first down, Hillis the carry, and Peyton Hillis. Nice run out to about the 37, 38-yard line before William Moore brought him down.
Peyton Hillis is so heavy in his runs. And what I mean by that is if he gets any chance to get momentum built up, he's the one delivering the blow at the end of the run. You always hear coaches and people like us talk about finishing a run. Watch this. See, the tackle is made by William Moore, but Peyton Hillis still falls forward for additional yardage.
And fullback Lawrence Vickers delivering a nice block for Hillis. Only 9 touches or carries in the game, I should say, for Hillis, who does have a touchdown catch. Falling forward, it'll be third down.
Chris, the best analogy I can give you that I can think of right now in Peyton Hillis, if this is boxing, you always hear about a boxer who has heavy hands. That guy that just every blow hurts when he throws a punch, whether it's a jab or a big shot. That's what it's like with Peyton Hillis. You know, every time, maybe it's a 1-yard run now, but you feel it, and later on in the game, that has a chance to become a bigger run, although he's a little bit limited today with the injured leg.
He embodies Cleveland Browns football. Checking out on this play on 3rd and 5. Delhomme. Pass is high, but Stuckey hangs on, and he has another first down.
Chancey Stuckey wins this route on the first step. Just goes diagonal and then runs away from the coverage of Christopher Owens and knows where the yard marker is after the catch. See, after the catch, knows how to get upfield to get just enough for the first down.
Stuckey, a former Jets player that has been added to this Cleveland team behind Massaquoi, Josh Cribbs, and Brian Robisky. And John Abraham limped off the field, is over on the sideline as Cribbs is back in at quarterback. Cribbs trying to get to the outside. The Falcons smother him. He picks up about 4 or 5 yards. Curtis Lofton from his middle linebacker spot or inside linebacker spot making the stop with no Abraham in on that play.
They've got a package of about 20 plays that they can incorporate into their flash package, which a lot of people would call Wildcat. If Jake Delhomme had taken a snap under center and handed off on that play, that would have been a misdirection run. Juke stepped to one side, come back to the other, let the fullback lead. That's all Josh Cribbs did, taking a direct snap at the tailback position.
Cribbs, of course, played some quarterback in college at Kent State. Came in with 12 catches. This time it's Hillis. And they're going to get him behind the line of scrimmage. Brent Grimes from the corner spot. And Jordan Babineau initially forcing the action.
And Babineau
Jonathan
Babineau, Jordan, his brother, up with the Seattle Seahawks. But Jonathan Babineau is one of the most underrated defensive tackles in this league. Shows up every week, makes plays, maybe not the flashiest guy going, but had 6 sacks last year, and knows how to get upfield and force plays into negatives.
3rd and 7. 2 receivers on the right. Cribbs goes left, batted in the air, and Bierman. Does Troy Bierman have it? Yes. He batted it and picked it off, and that's going to be a Falcon touchdown. Man, what a play.
Troy Bierman became a full-time starter for the first time this year. Part of the reason, his relentless motor. Bats the ball into the air, comes down with it. There's going to be a dispute on whether or not he completed the catch, but I did not see the ball move in his arms as he brought it down to the ground. Had the presence of mind to realize he had not been touched, gets up and takes it into the end zone.
There is a flag.
Conduct, Atlanta. Excessive celebration by going to the ground. Touchdown counts. That 5 enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
The excessive celebration penalty, the touchdown is good, and the ball, he maintained control throughout. He looked like a tight end the way he caught the football, and it might have been in the pink gloves that started it all.
And how about him covering up when he sensed pressure from the backside to avoid the fumble? He learned a lesson from last week when Roddy White punched it free from Nate Clements of the 49ers and gave them another opportunity.
The Falcons have been finding ways to win close games. Their defense delivers here in Cleveland.
The Falcons end up rushing 5. Watch how the guys in the middle occupy the space and leaves Troy Bierman a free rush. See, they end up occupying all right here. Troy Bierman is wide open. No one there to block him, and he makes the play of the ball game, knocking it in the air, catching it, and then carrying it in for a touchdown.
31-yard touchdown interception return by the rookie Troy Bierman. So the excessive celebration penalty has Atlanta backed up from their 15 to kick off as Kanan boots it to Josh Cribbs. Cribbs from his 15. Penalty flag, and he goes down at the 41-yard line.
Flag thrown in a spot where typically that goes against the receiving team.
And we have seen returns for touchdowns this year.
During the return, holding number 85 of the return team, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Call is on Sam
Time out on
Aiken.
the
So the
field.
Browns, who have led in every game in the fourth quarter this year, they are not leading here. Bierman made sure Atlanta added to its lead. It has been a different game since Seneca Wallace went out with the ankle injury late in the second quarter, and Jake Delhomme has come in. But Cleveland has the football, trailing by 10. For Bierman, the third-year player from Montana, his second touchdown return. First as an interceptor, he had a fumble run back last year. Delhomme, pass complete to Massaquoi. Let's get a game break. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Cincinnati was down by a point in the fourth quarter to the Bucs. But Carson Palmer hooked up with a tight end, Jermaine Grisham, and added a two-point conversion. And it's 21-14, Cincinnati on top. Chris and Charles?
Thanks, Kurt. And here, Arthur Blank behind head coach Mike Smith, watching Atlanta's defense against Jake Delhomme, who completes to Hillis but is short of the first down. Stephen Nicholas, who came in when Sean Weatherspoon went out. And Arthur Blank's team, they've won a lot of close games. You know, Cleveland's been in close games but only has one win. The Falcons are trying to win their fourth game of the year. Pass complete to Massaquoi. First down for Cleveland. Robinson on the tackle.
Nice route by Massaquoi, the second-year wide receiver out of Georgia. Found a way to beat Dante Robinson, what they call across his face to the inside for the completion.
Delhomme off the hands and almost intercepted. Massaquoi has 5 catches today. That's more than he had for the entire season coming in. He only had 4.
And that's part of what they need to help kickstart this offense. They're playing such tight games, and it's almost old-style football that the Browns are playing. Closer to inside the hashes. Now, the hashes aren't what they were in the old days where they were a lot wider, but you're closer to the middle of the field, bunched in tight, lots of bodies. They've got to try and find a way to create more space and get the ball out to the wide receivers.
Bierman over on the left end spot. Passes. Oh, what a nice catch caught by Robisky, the former Ohio State Buckeye, whose father, Terry, is the receivers coach over on the Atlanta sideline and who once was an interim coach here in Cleveland.
And there will be more hits like that as we go on unless these Browns receivers find a way to push these guys deeper.
3rd and 5, complete for the first down to Evan Moore, trying to get out of the grass. A crisp-looking drive that Delhomme has put together here with 2.5 and counting.
See, the Falcons' defensive backs, they're not going to do much retreating. They're going to try and play the game this way. They're going to try and play forward now because they haven't pushed them that deep so far.
Delhomme nearly intercepted. He's looking for Cribbs. It'll be 2nd and 10.
See, I'm sorry, Chris. I think at this stage you'll see a lot of two shell, what they call two deep safeties back in the secondary.
Is that like a prevent defense?
Corners rolled up, guys working underneath with the linebackers and maybe a nickel back. But there won't be that much retreat from the guys back because they haven't felt that push from the wide receivers or even the tight ends coming down the seam. See, watch. The two shell will encompass these guys and see if they try and play the game this way as opposed to doing much retreating.
And if you're Cleveland, Delhomme the snap. Pass complete in the middle of the field to Ben Watson. It's another first down. A helmet comes off. Of course, the new rule, if it's the ball carrier whose helmet comes off, the play is instantly over, down. And we're approaching the 2-minute warning. So Atlanta needs 2 scores, and they're in field goal range for Phil Dawson at the moment. It's Atlanta 20, the Browns 10 here in Cleveland. Cleveland has the football, all 3 of their timeouts. They are trailing by 10. So we know what the Browns need to do. What about Atlanta's defense?
Well, right now you get to that semi-prevent. You know, the 2 shell, the single high safety. And it's hard for Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator, because he's telling his guys, make sure you retreat, come forward and make the tackle. But they haven't been pushed all day in terms of deep routes. So his guys are going to want to sit on these routes and come up for the big hits or try to intercept the football.
Pressure. Delhomme gets rid of it and almost intercepted inside the 10. A flag goes down when Delhomme goes down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 29. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
See, and these are the penalties if you're Atlanta that you have to avoid at this stage of the ball game. Brian Williams has them, and the reason the penalty is the forearm upside of Jake Delhomme's head. Everything else was fine on the play. It wasn't late hit. You know, the rest of the contact was fine, but the forearm up into the head of the quarterback, so you're helping keep a drive alive and put your defense in a position that if they score, now you got to deal with an onside kick and the possibility of having to play for the game down the stretch.
Atlanta led the NFL in interceptions coming in. They have one from Bierman, their defensive lineman, today. That resulted in a touchdown. 1st and 10 for Delhomme. Pressure in the pocket, and that is going to be intercepted. Stephen Nicholas, linebacker, came in for Weatherspoon, grabs the ball out of the air, and that is another pick for Atlanta's defense.
You know, before this is over, I don't think that Jonathan Babineau is going to be known as underrated. That appeared to be him in there, or was that Abraham? Excuse me, 55, John Abraham, pushing the pocket back into Jake Delhomme and helping cause that interception by Stephen Nicholas.
And it hit the helmet of, it looked like Alex Mack, to go up in the air, and the frustration continues for Jake Delhomme.
What a day by John Abraham. Constant pressure in the face of all the quarterbacks, excuse me, the 2 quarterbacks of the Cleveland Browns. That's the John Abraham that everyone has to account for and game plan for when they play the Atlanta Falcons.
In the battle against Joe Thomas, Abraham holding the upper hand. Michael Turner carries, penalty flag goes down. Inside of 2 minutes.
You got to be careful here for both teams as frustration really kicks in for the Browns, who really gave a great effort today.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, that's been the storyline for the Browns. They've given great effort in every game this year. They finally broke through with a win last week against Cincinnati. But being close, as Eric Mangini says, doesn't help you. You want to get those victories. And they led today at the half. And then, of course, the pass defense that took over here in the 2nd half has turned this game around.
And if I'm not mistaken, out of those 10 interceptions by the Falcons, 9 of them have come from different players. William Moore is the only player on the Falcons who has 2 interceptions.
And Bierman, the pick and the touchdown. 1:44 to play. And Atlanta backed up just a little bit more. So if Cleveland plays the timeout game, they can at least put their hands on the football again. But down 2 scores. Michael Turner from out of the shadows goes out of bounds, which he did not want to do.
That's the only quibble you can have with the run is at the end of it, fall down in bounds. Make the clock continue to run, make them use timeouts if they so chose. But everything else, terrific. Look at Blaylock, 63 out in front, Mahaley, 34. Look at this right in here, Justin Peel, 87, which gets Michael Turner and Brian Finneran, number 86, blocking downfield on Eric Wright. Listen, the first 7 yards of any good run, usually you can credit to the offensive line. After that, you know that the wide receivers had a hand in blocking downfield to clear the way.
Turner again hoping to add to his 125-yard day, and he does. You mentioned wearing down this Cleveland defense that had been stingy on the ground all season long, and they've been able to do that. Next Sunday, part of the Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Many of you will see the Falcons go up against the Eagles. Michael Vick going back against Atlanta if he's healthy. And then the doubleheader with Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys against Favre, Moss, and the Vikings. It's a Fox Sunday doubleheader. Check local listings for the games and the start times in your area. And Randy Moss, who loves to play against Dallas since he was passed over by the Cowboys in the draft, and back with his original team, the Minnesota Vikings, and a Hall of Famer in action. We'll watch for that when Dallas takes on Minnesota next Sunday. Turner carries again, another 1st down. averaging over 7 yards a carry in today's game, came in under 4. And Cleveland will burn another timeout. But that doesn't do a whole lot of good when you keep giving up first downs.
Now, you're giving up first downs. You're not putting yourself in position to get the ball back, and you're down 20-10 at this point anyway. But let's just go back to Randy Moss for a second. That's one guy. And so many players talk about all the time. They pick a particular number because of where they were drafted, when they were upset about being drafted. But Randy Moss, he took it real personal about Dallas passing him over, and has done a number on them as many times as possible throughout his career.
Happy to be back in Minnesota, and Atlanta happy to have a little breathing room in a game. Remember, they had an overtime loss when the season started at Pittsburgh. They won in overtime. Great drama down in New Orleans. And then, of course, last week in a game they trailed 14-0 and came back in a close game on a last-second field goal to beat the 49ers. And so Atlanta ready to go to 4-1 and at least keep their part of that top spot in the NFC South. And in the midst of a major month here, we call it Foxtober because you get postseason baseball, big NFL games, the NLCS to the World Series. Talked about Randy Moss, of course, Dallas, Minnesota this week. Look at on Halloween, Randy will be dressed as a Viking in costume to go against Bill Belichick and the Patriots, and other major games each Sunday here on the NFL on Fox. And the Atlanta Braves hoping maybe to be part of that as this Atlanta Falcon team gets ready to head to Philadelphia. Matt Ryan grew up an Eagles fan, a fan of Donovan McNabb, who, of course, is no longer there. But the last time he played there against the Eagles, he was on the short end of things. And
there could be a doubleheader, my understanding, next week in Philadelphia. If that series goes 5 games, right? You get them there. So you may have a doubleheader, baseball, football on the same day in the city of brotherly love.
And stay with us here. We talk about Donovan McNabb. You'll get bonus coverage on Fox of the Redskins and Packers. Another tight game. We'll take you there live as soon as this one wraps up, if time allows. And you see the clock running down here. Some of the other scores from around the league. The Giants beating up on the Houston Texans. Chicago winning without Jay Cutler. And here Jake Delhomme pressed into action after an injury to Seneca Wallace. Matt Ryan and the Falcons were patient, and they get the win against Eric Mangini and the Cleveland Browns. So the Falcons now go to 4-1 and 1-4 for the Cleveland Browns. With Charles Davis, Chris Myers from Cleveland. We're glad you're watching the NFL on Fox.